And a very good evening to you all. This is the Ranting Brummy, and as you can say, it's very, very warm indeed. We're in the middle of a bit of a heat wave in here at the UK at the moment. The second one in as many weeks, but not quite as intense. It's been nice and sunny, so what better way to take your mind off things than a nice relaxing round of golf. More specifically, this micro golf. This is a game on itch.io. And there's obviously lots of miniature golf games on that one, but this one really caught my eye. It's got the very kind of feel of a sort of 1990s DOS game, I think, on this one. You can see our flag there fluttering in the breeze and our sunset there in the background. Let's just click on start and see how we get on with this one. And as you can see, this game, I think it started out life as something very, very different. Of course, I'll leave a link to the game in the description if you want to have a playthrough this yourself, and of course if you do enjoy this little playthrough, why not consider liking, sharing, subscribing to the channel, all the usual good stuff. Now, something tells me that this game originally started out as a kind of snooker or pool simulator. First of all, let's just take a look at our ball. As you can see, it is rounder and smoother than Duncan Goodhue's ball sack. And I say that in the nicest possible way. I actually met Duncan Goodhue once when I was very young, back in Paynton, I think back in the early 90s. He was just out there casually doing his shopping outside Boots, and my mum rushed off to grab his autograph. But anyway, that aside, yeah, this is definitely, I think, a game that owes a lot more to kind of pool or snooker, I think, rather than miniature golf. As you can see, the ball itself is very round, and there's no dimples on it. Apparently golf balls have dimples to make the ball fly further. I don't know. I don't play golf. My brother-in-law does. The other thing as well is if we kind of move the camera around, the perspective I think is very, very much as if you were holding a cue. If you imagine I suppose the pointy end of a cue in a lot of early 90s pool and snooker games. There was one I had on a disc called 1000 Game Demos, which had a very similar premise, and it looked very similar to this in terms of the kind of gaming architecture and what have you. Yeah, you can kind of imagine this is very much from the perspective if you were holding a cue. There's no on-screen club in this game of golf, as it were. The greens, as they look here, do look unbelievably flat. There are some elevations, and as you can kind of see, if you look around, you can see the other holes that we'll be playing as we go through this little collection. So it's I have to say, it's a very nicely put together game, and it plays very well, I have to say, in terms of the smoothness, the camera movement. It's very nice and fluid. But as you say, I think this very much shows itself more to being I think this was definitely a pool game that was suddenly turned into a miniature golf game. As you can see, if you just scroll the mouse wheel, and again, this kind of confirms, I think, that theory. You can go for a full top-down perspective, I suppose, as it were, or you can scroll right the way in for the full kind of Doom perspective. Or what was that game they played in, I think, an episode of Futurama, which had a very similar premise to this? We'll go for a kind of more medium perspective on this one. Another thing that makes me think that this game was adapted into something else is the fact that it has, the physics are actually quite fine in terms of the controls, in terms of the power input and everything like that. And as I say, it does play very, very smoothly. But the kind of edges, or I suppose they were originally probably cushions if this game was originally a pool game, sometimes you'll see the ball absolutely just fly off into the nether regions where you just get a slight bounce, and other times you'll go full yeet into one of the kind of flatter edges, and it won't do anything at all. It'll just stick. So what we'll do, we'll play our first little round right here. So we've got a very, very simple power climb. Just simply pull back on the mouse, decide how much power you want to do, and then just release. And again, I think this is definitely very much an indicator that this was originally a snooker or pool game. So we'll do slightly under full power. We'll aim for the slightly angly bit, right there. Yeah, very basic sound effects on this game, and no music, and that's perfectly fine. Let's be honest, you don't really hear much music when you're on a golf course. Unless you're playing in that, is it that called that Live Golf Series, where we've been paid spoons and £100 to take part in some kind of crazy team golf. You really don't get it. I don't watch a huge amount of golf, other than probably the Masters and the Ryder Cup. Right, okay, I think we're just going to have to try and zigzag it around, I think. So, shall we go Should we get full power? Yep, full speed, as No Cube says. Boom. And yeah, there you see. One of the issues that we have with this game just went full pelt into the side there, and it did absolutely nothing. We're going to have to do the same with this one. Can we bounce it off the edge and get it into the hole? Not quite, okay. Okay, we should get a nice even half of this one, so let's just roll it up. And I reckon just over that will do. Let's see if that drops nicely. Yes, it does. Okay, so we've got 9 holes. It's not a full 18-hole golf course, but we're still straight away onto the next one, and of course we're on level par already. And we'll do this one. Oh, okay, well, we're just going to simply just knock it up the hill, and I'm guessing it will be straight into the hole. So let's just try and get this nice and straight. I believe you are. Of course, when you actually do start selecting your power, it kind of locks the camera in, so you don't accidentally lose your aim when you're deciding how much power you want to put in, which is quite a nice touch, I have to say. Nice, okay, let's have slightly about 80% power. Let's see how that gets on. So if it's a little bit delayed, but that's not too bad. And we very much underhit that one. And of course, yeah. Have a quick look around our course, our floating holes in the sky golf course has definitely got that kind of vibe. A lot of miniature golf games do tend to go for that, and some of them have a sci-fi perspective. So let's get this again lined up nice and straight. Yeah, again, this is definitely a converted pool game. So let's just let that go all the way, drill down, drop into the hole. Okay, so we're level par at the moment. That's not too bad at all. Of course, the great saying of golf, attributed rightly or wrongly to Mark Twain, is that golf is a good walk. Okay, now I think we need to go for the corner, and let's go full power and see what happens. Oh, there we go. That's how you can rotate the camera as your ball is travelling, which is quite a nice touch. Are you able to get off the end? No, not quite. Let's just wander them slightly and just give it enough momentum to roll down the hill. And is that going to make it? Just about. Yeah. Okay. Oh, we've got a birdie. We're actually under par. We are 1 under par for our round. How about that? Very nice. That definitely would have been the case if I was playing golf for real. I think I'd have probably lobbed it into the trees by now. Okay. Let's do that again. You've got a bit of a choice on this hole. You can kind of yeet it up the ramp there on the right, but I reckon you probably just end up going off into the ether. So let's just put this down here. Lost a bit of momentum here. There's no corner bumper on this one, so I guess I'm just going to try and take a bit of a touch and just knock it down for that one. Okay, now into the corner for this one. It's a nice brief short game for this one. It doesn't outstay its welcome in any way, so we slightly muff that one up. Okay, so pretty straight. So this should be a par, I reckon. Let's just go slightly, say 25% power. There we go. Very nice. And we're 2 under par. There you go. Rory who? Tiger, what's his name? I'm the best at golf. Of course, if you want to go back and watch another golf game I played a while ago, that was, of course, Mini Golf, as opposed to Micro Golf, which this is called. Go and check that one out, and I'll leave that one at the end of the video as well. Okay, now this one, we've just got to drop it slightly off the edge. It's a kind of 2-tier hole, this one, so let's just let that drop. Okay, not too bad. And we've just got to tap it up there. Mind you, these kind of anthill finishes, they're always the bane of whenever we used to play mini golf when I was on holiday in Payton. My sister was not better at that than me. She even got a hole in one on once. So again, let's have the same amount of power. That should drop in for a 2. We're now 3 under par. We're doing well here, folks. And okay, now this one can go down the sides. But I think we've got a good chance of getting a hole in one here. We're just going to get it again nice and square, and just get it to just drop off the edge. So again, about 20% power. So again, that drop, that's stage 1. That looks quite good. Stage 2, this is looking good, everybody. Are we going to go on our first hole in one? Yes, we are. Told you we were good at golf. We're now 4 under par. Aren't we looking good? Okay, this one's kind of a, I suppose, got a snail shell shaped hole. Let's just go over the bumper and give about 85% power. I thought we would have bounced a bit more than that. Same again for this one. For some reason, we've got more bounce out of that one than we did last time round. I did say that some of the physics can be a little bit strange, but let's go full pelt on that one and see if we can just get a bit of a happy accident, as Bob Ross once said. I don't think we are. But again, I think we'll just drop that one in for a nice, steady par. There we go. And there we are. That's it. Oh no, it was another birdie. We're now 5 under par. We are absolutely smashing this. Okay, now this one's a bit of a tricky one. We've got to go over 1, 2, 3 ramps, and of course there's a very possible danger we might end up in the ether there, but we have a relatively nice amount of leeway in terms of our scores so far. So once again, 90% power. Oh, Rover, are we going to make it? Oh, just about. Don't go off. Oh, that was close. Our first bit of jeopardy there. Okay, so now we know we can do pretty much, I think, something similar to that one if we kind of land on the ramp of the third part of this course. I suppose one thing that's slightly lacking in terms of fixing this game is obviously there's no kind of spin function, but you're not necessarily smashing the ball into the air, you're very much putting it along the ground, so there's not really, I suppose, much need for any kind of spin function. And as I say, the controls are very easy to pick up on this game. So up over we go. Oh no! Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. Well, that could have gone better. So that's our first little mistake there. Okay, so a little bit more power this time. Yep, and that's up, and we're safely over. We could still save a par, I reckon, on this one. Okay, let's go again for about that much. And over, and that's just going to bounce over the hole. We're just going to not have momentum. So I think that's going to be our first bogey of the round. And again, don't ask me how golf ended up with bogey, eagle, albatross, par, and what have you. Again, I'm not a golf expert. Is that just going to drop? I think it is. Yeah, that's our first bogey. But we have, again, we're 4 under par going into the final hole. And this one looks like it's got a little bit of up and down, a bit of over and under. Doesn't look like it's going to be a hugely challenging one. And again, we're 4 under on a 5 par hole, so we've got plenty of leeway here for that one. So once again, that one just goes up and drops a little more. No need to really push it on this one. So once again, we'll just get that one over the top and onto that one. That's not too bad. Oh, the hole's in reach. We could try and play a double here. Can we finish this round in style? Can we get a double? Can we get a double? Let's just go for it. No guts, no glory. We're going to finish under par anyway. Right, full power. And that's all our momentum gone. Now, that is one of the strangest things, I suppose, about this. It kind of depends on which part of the outside wall you hit. Depends if you get a good bounce or not. But we're just going to tap this one in now for our final round. And again, I think this will be a birdie, so we will finish 5 under par. So that was Micro Golf, a very nice little golf game. I'll leave a link in the description if you want to go and play this game on itch.io even. And of course, remember to like, share and subscribe to the channel and hit the bell notification icon, of course, for all future videos. So this has been a relatively quick round of Micro Golf from the Ranting Brummie, and have an awesome day, stay safe, take care, have an awesome day. I'm off now for a clubhouse soda.